Brown eyes. Let's talk about the most common eye color in the world, brown. You see it everywhere. You might even have it. And yet, most people have no idea how it changes the way they're seen. Brown eyes come from high melanin levels in the iris. That pigment soaks up light instead of scattering it, giving the eyes a rich, deep tone, like coffee, soil, or dark honey. In other words, they don't reflect, they absorb, and that has a weird psychological effect on people. Studies show that brown-eyed individuals are often seen as more trustworthy, more grounded, and more stable, but also harder to read. It's like your eyes are shielding something. People feel safe around you, but also slightly unsure of what you're thinking. You're the one who ends up in charge of the group project, even if you never volunteered. You're not loud, you're just solid. People look into your eyes and think, this person's in control. In mythology, brown eyes are tied to earth energy and ancestral wisdom. They don't dazzle or shift with the light, but they do hold steady, like someone who's seen it all before. So if you've got brown eyes, don't underestimate them. They're quietly shaping how the world moves around you, like gravity. Blue eyes. Blue eyes are often seen as dreamy, angelic, or piercing. But here's the twist. They're actually a genetic glitch, a beautiful one. Every person with blue eyes can be traced back to one human who lived around 6,000 to 10,000 years ago, somewhere near the Black Sea. Before that, blue eyes didn't exist. Then, all of a sudden, someone was born with a mutation that reduced melanin in the iris. Instead of brown pigment, they got a translucent layer that scatters light, just like the sky. So technically, blue eyes aren't even blue. They're just light bouncing around in a clever illusion. But that illusion has real social effects. Psych studies show that people with blue eyes are often perceived as more sensitive, innocent, and emotionally open. That doesn't mean they actually are. But they tend to trigger protective instincts in others. It's like people project softness onto them, which is wild, considering blue-eyed warriors were out there colonizing half the planet. In evolutionary terms, rare traits often stand out for mate selection. Blue eyes may have spread not because they were useful, but because they were eye-catching. Literally. So if you've got blue eyes, you're carrying ancient glitch energy. And whether you want it or not, people tend to see you as softer, brighter, and a little more special than average. Green eyes. Green eyes are the rarest natural eye color in the world, seen in less than 2% of the global population. And yet they're everywhere in myths, fairy tales, and fantasy books, usually belonging to witches, spies, or seductive masterminds. Coincidence? Not really. Green eyes are caused by a delicate balance of melanin and light scattering, just enough pigment to keep them from being blue, but not enough to turn them brown. The result? A strange shifting color that looks different depending on the light, the background, or even your mood. They're unpredictable by design, and people feel that. Psychologically, green-eyed people are often seen as cunning, mysterious, and emotionally intense. Not in an unkind way, more like you're just one step ahead, and no one's sure what you're planning. You're intriguing, maybe even a little dangerous. Culturally, green eyes are tied to magic, jealousy, and allure. You've got the enchanted forest gaze, calm on the surface, but definitely hiding something. People may find themselves drawn to you, and not totally sure why. If you've got green eyes, expect double takes. You arrive quietly, and somehow the atmosphere shifts, like the room's waiting to see what you'll do next. That's the power of a visual anomaly with a built-in mystery filter. Hazel eyes. Hazel eyes are hard to define, which is kind of the point. They're a swirling mix of green, gold, and brown, often changing based on lighting, clothing, or even emotions. Basically, hazel eyes are what happens when your iris can't decide who it wants to be, and somehow looks amazing doing it. Scientifically, hazel eyes are caused by moderate melanin and something called the Rayleigh effect, which scatters light to reveal different tones in different environments. Some hazel eyes lean more green, some are more amber, some are almost copper or honey. They're not one color, they're all of them. And people feel that. Hazel-eyed people are often perceived as emotional, unpredictable, and expressive, the kind of people who wear their heart on their sleeve even when they think they're hiding it. Where brown eyes are grounded and blue eyes are soft, hazel eyes are all volatility and charm. You're seen as someone who shifts your energy, your mood, your intensity, and that makes people both curious and cautious. You give off main character energy, but the kind with a plot twist. In folklore, hazel trees were considered magical, full of intuition and transformation. So if you've got hazel eyes, don't be surprised if people project feelings, secrets, or expectations onto you. What people see in your eyes often has more to do with them than with you. Gray eyes. Gray eyes are so rare, they barely seem real. They look like fog, steel, or smoke, almost colorless, but impossible to ignore. And that strange absence of color? It's not an illusion. It's a genetic outlier. Gray eyes are a variant of blue, but with even less melanin in the front layer of the iris. Instead of reflecting warm or vibrant tones, they scatter light in a way that gives off a cool, silvery sheen. Some even shift subtly between blue, green, or charcoal, depending on the lighting. They're like shapeshifters, hiding in plain sight. Socially, gray-eyed people are often seen as intelligent, calm, and emotionally contained, sometimes even intimidating. There's a stillness in the gaze that makes people second-guess themselves. It's the classic, I can't tell if they like me or want to destroy me stare. Where blue eyes pull people in with softness, gray eyes keep people at a distance. Not cold, just controlled. You reveal just enough to keep people wondering. Historically, gray eyes show up in mythic figures and warrior legends. The vibe is wisdom without warmth or power without noise. If you've got gray eyes, chances are people respect you before they know you. You don't have to raise your voice. Your silence already says enough. Amber eyes. Amber eyes look like something out of a dream, or a jungle. They shimmer in hues of gold, copper, and burnished yellow, almost glowing from within. And that glow? It's not a trick of the light. It's biology doing something wild. Unlike other eye colors, amber comes from a pigment called lipochrome, the same one found in some animals. That's why amber eyes often give off an animalistic, feral vibe. Kinda similar to wolves, owls, or big cats. Your eyes seem to smolder, like something watching from the trees. Humans with amber eyes are extremely rare, less than 1% of the population. And that rarity shapes how people respond. You might not even say much, but people notice. They feel watched or studied, maybe even hunted. Amber-eyed individuals are often perceived as intense, magnetic, and slightly untamed. It's not always about beauty, but about presence. You walk in, and people feel it. In legend, amber eyes were seen as a sign of shapeshifters, seers, or predators in disguise. So if you've got them, don't be surprised if people can't quite place you. You don't look like anyone on Earth. You look like you belong to another species entirely. Black eyes. Technically, no one has truly black eyes. What we call black is usually very dark brown, so saturated with melanin that no light escapes. But to anyone looking at you, it's black, and it's intense. These eyes absorb, like liquid ink or obsidian glass, the color of secrets, shadows, and the space between stars. People with extremely dark eyes are often perceived as powerful, private, and emotionally impenetrable. There's no shimmer and no sparkle, just a steady, unwavering gaze. You don't blink first or show your hand. You just stare. Psychologically, dark-eyed individuals are seen as more authoritative and confident. Even when they say nothing, it's the whole still waters run deep effect. People sense there's more beneath the surface, but they're not sure they want to dig. In mythology, black eyes have been linked to supernatural beings, spirit guides, and even omens. There's something ancient and unknowable about them. They don't shine or shimmer, but people still notice them every time. So if your eyes are so dark they look black, you're walking around with void energy. People may not understand you, but they'll definitely remember you. Heterochromia. Some people have one blue eye and one green, or a brown eye with a golden streak, or a single flash of unexpected color slicing through the iris like a lightning bolt. That's heterochromia, a rare condition where each eye, or even parts of one eye, show different colors, and it's pure genetic chaos. There are a few things that cause this condition: genetics, mosaicism, and sometimes even injury or developmental quirks. But no matter the source, the result is the same: eyes that break the rules. Socially, heterochromia sends one clear signal: you're different. It's rare in humans and more common in animals, but always attention-grabbing. People don't just see your eyes, they fixate on them. You feel like a character from a movie, because to everyone else, you kind of are. Heterochromia tends to trigger one of two reactions: fascination or suspicion. Some people see it as magical or lucky. Others do a double take, like their brain flagged something that doesn't follow the rules. It's the visual equivalent of a plot twist. If you've got heterochromia, people might assume you're rebellious, artistic, or just plain otherworldly. You're the living proof that sometimes the best version of normal is the one that doesn't match. Eye color isn't just pigment, it's perception. And the world sees more than you think. We explain a lot around here. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.